This demo of using the program GPS Vision feature extraction for measuring the progress of construction sites. Ahead of you see two images. These appear from the Vision vehicle, which ride alongside these projects where you're adding lanes and record through stereo imaging all of on the construction site. The accord for you right now is going to be excavation of material and plant material, particularly concrete pavement. So the thing we have to do when we're to locate the volume of material excavated is locate the beginning and ending of each of these excavation and material placement points. Is go into the lower map screen and we see where our line we're taken is the green line. The box is where we're at right now in these images. So we're going to zoom in to the area so we see what is being extracted. And we can move it kind of towards the left side of the screen so we can, if we're going to extract a lot of images, we can see it being placed as we go. So now, that red box, if I can put a red box to you, where we're at right now, and that's the current image that's associated with that green arrow they're looking at. Now, left of that red box is a feature called Excavation Start. We click and be the start of the excavation point. So we go up to the images and turn on the zoom feature, and we click where we think the start of this excavation point is. And what you're looking at right now is the old pavement. And locate one of those points by clicking on it. On the end of that pylon, we can see that there's a corner there. So there, more to the left of that pylon. Click. And then the main point in the next image, a little bit more to the right. And you'll see a green dot show a map. That's the one point of the start of this image. So we go ahead and collect the other point. So we into where we see the excavation line stopping. And line, if you follow that line over the left, that's where excavation stops and starts. And click on where that meets the excavation point, which is right there. That point is in the other images, and we're going to click on that, and then it'll drop down the other point of this excavation start line. 2 points mark the start of the excavation. Now what we can do is we're going to go reposition that zoom over on the edge of the excavation point by clicking on it. By clicking of the left screen, we'll click on the area where we just think the edge of the excavation point is, which would be where we clicked it right there. And now we can look and see that this excavation depth remains the same, or we can also measure it. So now we're going to go forward, scroll forward, and we're just watch this excavation point to see that it stays the same. At some point, we can take periodic measurements of this excavation depth to make sure that we're getting the same depth in this excavation. A good point to take a depth. So now I'm going to pick a different feature, which is called excavation depth. Use to get the of the excavation to the depth of the excavation. So we're going to take and click on the screen. And we're going to find there where we can find both images at the excavation right there. And then same point in another image. And then the bottom of that image. So vertically, we go over to the left a little more, and a little bit more right at the edge right there. We'll click there. And in that same point, now it's covered by a barricade, so we might take another measurement, but we want to estimate a little bit where that same point was, over to the left a little more. And then on that point, the depth of that excavation at that point. So if we look over on the information where it's depth, the vertical distance, if we want to put it where the vertical distance is, it says that it's about half a meter, 0.07 meters deep. So that's the depth at that point. So we're going to record that at 5.7 meters on the system. Now continue to drive on and see the excavation depth remains that for the rest of the time. So we're going to forward. And depth remains about the same. Going to take the measurement. One more. Maybe take a measurement because we have a nice little vertical point to look at. So there's almost a shadow on the edge there to the right, a little bit more to the right. To the little shadow right there. So we can use that as a measure of the depth. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we did before. We've clicked on the excavation depth, if you want to know where that is. We're feature, go up to the top of the excavation point. And then we go, top is a little bit lower. There. And the bottom of it, a little more left, right, a little bit lower. And the same point on the side. Click. And 3.7 meters. Okay, so now we're going to keep driving down the road. Back here, I noticed right here another change. We have a change of some pavement slabs being placed. While we're here, we're going to record the begin pavement material placement. So the right image is going to allow us to record that accurately. So we want to move forward a little bit. A little more. Next image. Pick the start of that, and we're going to go down to the feature and collect pavement material start. In the same procedure, we're going to collect the beginning of this pavement material placement. Image to the main image to the left, and on the point we want way to the edge, a little more to the edge to where we see the edge of that. So go more to the left right there. And then the start of that. Another image. And click the, and now to the edge. You can see that point has been placed there. That's the first start of the pavement placement. And we go there point of the start line. On now. Fast. So that this the same. Let's make a depth measurement when we get a spot. To find a depth measurement. So now the pavement material depth. And the point that we can locate in both images, maybe something right by that pylon. We want to make an image and click a good point here so we can get a good view of that. And now we can measure the thickness of this pavement material. And then I would go a little bit more to the left. I go to the main image and go to the left a little bit more. Go to there. We see there's a little line there that we can use. So we go back and select the top of that change in material color to the left there a little bit more. And to get the top and bottom of the pavement material edge. We'll clear, and that same point, other side to the left side of that, to the left of that more. Go back to that same point right there. Yep, and then we'll go to that upper left side of that, which is the same point we clicked in the other image, and click there. To the bottom of that point, lower there. Then we'll also go to that same point in the image and click there. And now the thickness of that material, that's 2.021 meters thick. I'll continue on again. Button. Sure that this pavement and this trench keep going together. At the end, you see that orange fence. That's the end of the excavation, and it's the end of the pavement material. So you zoom in, maybe a couple more points, a couple more images, so you can find a good. If we go to the forward button and go forward, one more. Got a best view of that. So it looks like the best view. So we'll back up one. One. Stop. And now do the same thing, but we're going to get pavement material and we'll click on the point where that is. It's like by a telephone pole. So we can click edge of that material, which is like right below left that warning barricade, a little bit to the this other image, a little bit more right. right there. And that will put the start of the pavement. And now we'll go to the other side of the pavement edge. And up a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the right. And we'll say top this time. And then same point in the other image. And then we'll also collect the end of the excavation point, which looks like it's that orange fence. Let's go and zoom in to, let's go forward a little bit. Let's go one. It looks like we're missing the edge. One more guys in the way, and we'll use the fence line. We'll use that orange fence line as the end of the elevation. So let's zoom into that area. We'll kind of look some more to the left a little bit more to that fence. More right. Click there. The end of the fence. So I would click something right around that area, a little bit up more to the right. Right. That would be a good point. Point in which would be a little bit more to the left. Then now we'll go to the other end of the fence. Even more to the right. More to the right. And I would fence. I can use some vertical measurements like that. A little point that's on the to that barricade, up a little bit higher. Right. That would be the pavement exit point. Now we zoom out into the map points that have been placed. We can, in the area we've been looking at. The general measurements we made. We have the beginning of the excavation point in the green there. We have a couple of measurements we did of the excavation depth. Then the beginning of the pavement slabs right there. Measurement of the thickness of the pavement slabs. And they have the end of the pavement slabs and the end of the excavation point. With all this data on the map now, we can use GIS programs such as ARC to calculate the volume of material that was excavated and volume of material that was placed. So we take this information, export it to ARC, and map you'll see will be these points placed on the ARC with polygons around them. So we'll connect the beginning of the excavation point with the end of the excavation point. The measure point to the end of the excavation point. that, is 167.6 meters. And we can get the distance of the beginning to the pavement ending. (415.024 meters). Approximates doing these measurements, the actual measurements will be where these points end and start exactly. So what we're going to do is we'll export all this data from the feature extraction. So we go to the file, export, output file. And set it as the run, which you would have a file. And then we import that into the software. Now this feature application, and we'll show you this data in ARC.